Hello and good morning everyone. Welcome back. Ngayon pag-uusapan natin papaano isulat itong huling dalawang bahagi ng inyong research paper. Ito ay bahagi ng tinatawag nating summary of findings, conclusions, and recommendations na makikita sa chapter 5. So doon sa nakaraang video natin, kung hindi nyo pa napanood, ay pinag-usapan na natin yung unang bahagi, which is the summary of findings. Ngayon, pagsasamahin na nating pag-usapan yung tinatawag nating conclusions and recommendations. So ito yung mga tips natin kung paano dapat isulat ito at kung ano yung mga dapat na laman nitong bawat bahagi ng research ninyo. Simulan natin doon sa tinatawag nating conclusions. So paano ba sinusulat yung conclusions? Ang conclusion ay tinatawag nating realization. Parang nakita mo, naliwanagan ka na ito pala yung resulta, ito pala yung naging epekto o kung ano man yung naging output ng iyong research. Pero kailangan malaman ninyo na lahat ng conclusion dapat may ebidensya. There should be an evidence and a basis for forming your conclusion. Ulitin natin, conclusion is a realization. So, ibig sabihin na nalaman ninyo ang isang bagay, pero ang basihan ninyo dapat meron kayong ebidensya dito sa pagkakadating ninyo, dito sa kaalaman na ito. Okay? So, tignan na natin yung unang evidence. The conclusion should be based and anchored from the findings of the study. So, yung tinatawag nating evidence can be readily found. Makikita na itong ebidensya dito sa tinatawag nating findings of the study. Now, nasaan ba yung findings of the study? Yung unang bahagi nito, ito yon, summary of findings. So, nandyan lahat ng mga numeric data, naka-outline, naka-summarize, tapos yung analysis nitong mga data na ito, and these are all formed into findings. So, nandyan yung data, tapos nandyan yung equivalent narrative interpretation ng mga data na yon. So, wala pang opinion dito sa bahagi ng tinatawag nating summary of findings. So, ang tawag natin dyan is unadulterated. Ibig sabihin, hindi pa nagagalaw. Kung ano lang yung nakita doon sa chapter 4, doon sa mga tabulation, interpretation, analysis na nasa chapter 4, sinamarize nyo lang dito sa chapter 5, doon sa bahagi ng tinatawag nating summary of findings. So, check out yung video natin kung ano bang itsura nitong summary of findings natin. Okay? And then, sabi nga natin dito sa una, itong mga conclusions na gagawin natin, dapat nakabase dito sa findings of the study natin or summary of findings ng study natin. Pangalawa, conclusions are realizations backed up by evidence. So, ito din yung kanina pa nating sinasabi. Pangatlo, the hypothesis of the study may be answered in this part of your research. The hypothesis may be answered in this part of your research. So, remember, meron kayong hypothesis na finorm sa chapter 1. Pwede nyong sagutin at isama dito sa formulation ng conclusion ninyo. Okay, next, number 4. Remember, do not use or do not present, do not include numeric values in the formulation and presentation of your conclusion. So, yung mga numeric values na galing sa mga table ninyo may be presented dito sa tinatawag nating summary of findings. Makikita nyo na yan sa summary of findings eh. So, you do not need to repeat that dito sa conclusion ninyo. Okay. Now, later on, actually, I'm already going to show it to you kung ano yung sample nitong conclusion natin, and then eventually mamaya balikan naman natin kung ano yung part ng recommendation. So, for the conclusion, as you can see, make sure that you follow the format. the label or the heading is located in the middle, and then all caps, and then written in bold. So this is the format that we are using. So you can choose either to follow this or not based on the format of your institution. Now, kung mapapansin ninyo yung unang sentence ng conclusion, based on the indicated findings. Napakasimple lang, di ba? The following conclusions were drawn because, do you remember earlier, dapat nakabase sa findings ninyo yung formulation ng conclusion ninyo. And you just observe, there are no numeric values presented here. Okay? So dito, all of this, again, were based on the findings of the study. Now, what's the difference between the findings and the conclusion? Again, you can already make a parang statement. You can make a statement in the conclusion. So, and you can already stand on that particular statement because this is backed by evidence. Okay? So, the result of, let's take one. The findings revealed that the students who undergone treatment has higher achievement. This is a statement. Students who underwent the treatment or the strategy being implemented has higher achievement. So sabi niya, higher achievement is a statement. It's a realization. And you cannot make this nang walang ebidensya. So yun yung sinasabi natin kanina, that whatever you state in your conclusion should be backed up by the findings of your study. So basically, these are the examples that were presented. And then, eventually, before the recommendation, sinabi niya din, let's take another one, the learning gains of the students and its significant difference prove that though the students learned in the two strategies, the conventional and the experimental, students learn better. This is another statement. When you say students learn better, you're making a stand in what you believed in based on the evidence that you were able to get from your research, that the students learned better using this strategy. Okay? So again, this is based on the findings of your study. So these are not just claims. These are presentations of statements that you believed in because, let us repeat, ulitin natin, these are based on the findings of your study. Now, let's go to the second part. How do you formulate the recommendations of your study? The recommendation of the study, number one, should be anchored on the findings and conclusion of your study. Remember, when you say recommendations, these are concrete steps. Ito yung mga paraan para mabigyan ng solusyon o kasagutan yung problema ng inyong research batay sa nakita ninyo, findings of your study, and the realization or the statement that you presented in the conclusion. So ngayon, ito yung nakita, ito yung na-realize. Ano ngayon yung pwede nyong i-recommend para masagot yung problema? So ang research ninyo hindi dapat natatapos sa ano yung nakita. Tandaan ninyo, ulitin ko, ang research hindi dapat natatapos kung ano lang yung nakita o na-discover ninyo. Kailangan bigyan ninyo ng tinatawag nating recommendation o parang paraan para magkaroon ng kasagutan yung problema na yon. So, hindi siya nakaiwan na nakabitin. Okay, next. Number 2. Recommendation should be in diplomatic and suggestive voice. Diplomatic and suggestive voice. So, you present these recommendations in a way that the institution or whoever is the beneficiary of your research has the option. Dapat meron siyang pwede nyong sabihin na ito ang pwede nyong gawin. Okay? Kaysa doon sa sasabihin nyo, ito ang dapat nyong gawin. Okay? So, yung salitang dapat yung gawin is more autocratic. Not unless you really believe that this would be the answer to their problem. If not, most of the time, it is presented in, as I've said, doon sa tinatawag nating suggestive or diplomatic voice. Paano yon? Sa English, you may use may. The institution may implement the following recommendations. Okay, so yun yung halimbawa ng tinatawag nating diplomatic or suggestive voice. Next, number 3. If the studies and action research, the last part or part of this, last part of the recommendation should be the presentation of yung tinatawag nating intervention, program, or plan. So after the recommendation, part of the recommendation, if this is an action research, it should incorporate, entail an intervention, a program, or a plan in this last part of your research. So let's look at the example. Again, in this case, these were this particular example conducted an experimental research. So let's look at the first sentence or the introductory statement. The study revealed the effectiveness of the strategy. Thus, the following recommendations are hereby presented. So, very direct to the point. Okay? The objective of the study and then the recommendations that is being presented. Since the effectiveness of ito, so makikita ninyo ang ginamit niya dito is should. So, you can already identify if the recommendations were presented in a diplomatic or suggestive way. Okay? Implementation of math talk as inquiry-based in teaching, should ulit ang ginagamit niya. So, most of the time, I think, should ang gagamitin niya dito. But I encourage you to present your recommendations in a diplomatic way so that the respondents, the beneficiaries, will have an option kung tatanggapin yung recommendations or not. So, again, these are all suggested strategies, suggested action, suggested move that the beneficiary may take para ma-improve yung nakita dito sa study na ito. So, kung meron man existing, halimbawa gumagamit sila ng conventional way of teaching mathematics, kung ito ang gagamitin nila, may posibilidad o malaki ang posibilidad na mas magi-improve yung mga estudyante. So this is what we call yung diplomatic approach. So basically these are the strategies, the tips and advices and the reminders that you may do when you present your conclusion and recommendation in this part of chapter 5. So I hope you were able to get something from our discussion today. And again, please do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. At the bottom of your screen, you're going to see my icon. When you press that, on the lower right side of your screen, makikita nyo na kagad yung salitang subscribe. Just click that to help my channel. And there are videos that you can use on the left side of your screen. Recommended videos yan that you can use for research writing. And there are still more videos in my YouTube channel. From writing of chapter 1, formulation of title, until tips and advices regarding your research defense. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat, everyone. Stay safe and God bless. Bye!